Now, as a married couple, you don't want issues in your family to be a distraction or to be a problem or conflict in your own marriage. You want to know how to unite your household together in the same faith and in the same vision. In creating unbreakable bonds, you don't just want to be bonded as a married couple, but you want your children to come into that same unity in the faith with you. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Ready, aim, shoot. Welcome to Arrows of Revival. God wants to use you as an arrow in His revival, and He's releasing arrows across the world for a world revival. Tune in as we discuss these arrows.
Greetings. This is Bishop Reid here with another episode of Arrows of Revival. Today I'm going to talk to you about the latest book, Creating Unbreakable Bonds, A Faith Journey to Unite Your Family. And in this book, I talk about how a family, a married couple, a head of household can unite their house together in the same faith, unite their house together in the same vision, the same goal. You want to have unity no matter what's going on in that home. You want, whether a conflict arises, difference arises, whether it's with children or others in the same house, that you want to be able to speak as one voice or with one voice as a couple or as a leader in the home. You don't want as a couple that there is division between you and your spouse so that you can't handle conflicts and differences that arise in the home well. And you don't want a household where everybody basically do their own thing. There's no common ground in how you deal with each other. No, you want to be unified in a common faith. So that's why I wrote this book. And what's powerful about this book, the books that my wife and I have written in the past have been guidelines, have been very didactic with teaching points, and structured in a outlined kind of way. But this book is a story. It's a fully a story from start to finish, but it's a story that still gives you the guide that you need to apply in your own life. In other words, you can join the story. You can join the journey of the characters in the story because you will learn from them. But there's also questions in the book, prompts in the book that will help you join these characters in uniting your own home. So I want to get right into it. I'm going to read the back, what's written on the back of this book so you could get an example of the description so far. It says, 2 families, 2 cultures, 1 God-given path to family unity. Join Ahmad, a respected Christian leader from New York, and Yaku, a South African husband and father facing a fractured home, on a life-changing journey that begins on a flight across continents. As Ahmad mentors Yaku, he unveils a powerful faith-based framework including the source, vessel, and cues for healing rifts and building unbreakable family bonds. This book weaves their fictional story with profound truths, offering relatable struggles and authentic character growth, practical strategies for creating shared values, traditions, and purpose, tools for managing conflict and navigating difficult life transitions, inspiring examples of how faith can transform even the most challenging family dynamics. Creating Unbreakable Bonds is more than just a guide. It's a story of hope, forgiveness, and incredible transformations that occur when families commit to building their lives on the foundation of faith. Journey with Ahmad, Yaku, and their families as they navigate real-life challenges with faith and discover your own path to a stronger, more unified family for the glory of God. That's Creating Unbreakable Bonds, a faith journey to unite your family. And the last time I spoke about what are some of the things that you can do to unite your family, and I gave you actually some of the chapters that are right here in the book, which are, let me give it to you. So I told you about things such as creating shared values, creating a shared home culture, uniting your home in God's love and identity, building emotional stability in the family, creating physical bonds that build unity, creating a shared vision, and managing family disagreements together, serving God together, navigating transitions while maintaining unity. And what I want to do, I'm just going to read the first, that's the first part of the book, the first chapter. I'm going to start from the prologue. I'm going to read the first chapter to you. And I know you'll enjoy this book. You know, one person that is reading the book right now, she came to me and said, you know, this is very cool. Another person said, it's incredibly good. And so I know it'll be a blessing to you as you read the story. You'll find yourself able to be a part of it. And it gives you prompts and guides so that you can join in the story that is taking place. Let me go ahead and start reading. This is the prologue. Join us on an intercontinental journey of unity as two parents of faith come together to create unbreakable family bonds through God's word. Starting with a common faith, a family's spiritual bond provides the foundation for building emotional oneness in the home. Our physical connection becomes the real world expression of that spiritual and emotional unity. This book explores creating family unity through healthy spiritual, emotional, and physical bonds. We'll walk through these principles using the story of Ahmad, his newfound friend Yaku, and both their families. While Ahmad and Yaku's story unfolds in the context of marriage, the principles also apply to households with single parents, as you'll notice with Ahmad's mom. These principles are universal, relevant to any household striving for deeper unity. Whether married, blended, or led by a single parent, families living under one roof will find practical, biblically rooted insights in Ahmad and Yaku's journey. All right, chapter 1, introducing Ahmad, his new journey in helping families unite. Introducing Ahmad. He never dreamed God would take a gritty city boy to such remote parts of the earth. On his first trip to Africa, Ahmad wondered about this new venture in life. He would join his church's mission trip to Namibia, a small, beautiful country just north of South Africa. Dreading the over 20-hour-long flight and pondering on his step of faith, Ahmad hoped for an unforgettable experience. From a New York City borough, he had traveled overseas before, but never to far-off places like Africa. While waiting at the bustling John F. Kennedy Airport gate, voices mixed with announcement chimes and moving wheels, Ahmad found a moment to reflect. God's purpose and call for your life can take you to new heights and make the impossible possible, he thought. Growing up with his mom and brother, Ahmad found purpose through his faith in God and involvement in church. His mother, disabled from a car accident, did her best to raise her sons with the little she had. A devoted Christian, she encouraged them to attend church regularly, even when she had to stay home. Her friends and associates, pastors and Christian workers, served in the congregation. A woman of hospitality, she often housed pastors visiting New York from other countries who would influence the life of her children positively. Mom didn't quote scripture to her sons regularly, but her witty sayings were biblical. She instilled Christian values in her sons. work hard, respect others, and live right. Faith threaded the life and culture of the three-person home. Relatives considered Ahmad a favorite, especially compared to his foul-mouthed, hot-tempered brother, Danroy. But Ahmad did his antics in the dark. The brothers got into many squabbles over this. His brother would say out loud what Ahmad said privately, but his sharp-tongued brother took the blame. People often missed Ahmad's dirty work, but Danroy usually got caught. Since Ahmad was older, he sometimes took advantage of this dynamic, leading to heated arguments that, looking back, pained him more than he realized then. Today, the brothers often cover the past pain points in their relationship with humor. Danroy teases Ahmad about his little girlfriend in the neighborhood during their young teenage years. A few times when mom was not home, Ahmad's girlfriend came over the house and spent time with Ahmad in his room. Mom would not have allowed this, but Danroy kept it a secret for him. However, Ahmad did not return the favor. Back then, they lived in the Bronx, where the neighborhood was rough. Against their mom's best wishes, Ahmad and Danroy often hung out with the neighborhood teenage boys who often competed in a crude body count game to see who could sleep with the most girls. One day, after boasting about his score, one of the influential boys said, "You need a condom. Y'all have one?" Ahmad and Danroy both shook their heads. The boy pulled out 2 condoms, handed them to Danroy, who in turn passed one to Ahmad. Their mom had a habit of checking their pants pockets before doing laundry. That day, she found a condom in Ahmad's pocket. "Ahmad!" The tone in his mother's voice signaled for Ahmad to respond quickly. "Yes, Mom." With the condom in her hands, she asked, "Where did you get this from?" Ahmad froze. His mother scrutinized him. "You better answer me, Ahmad." He then suddenly mumbled, "Danroy gave it to me." The mom sighed, unsurprised. "Where did he get it?" Ahmad shook his shoulders. "I don't know." Danroy got a whooping that day, and Ahmad got away. The brothers had a small tussle that evening, which her mother broke up. Again, Danroy tried to explain, but Ahmad just said, "You gave me the condom." In the heat of the moment, it seemed impossible for Mom to grasp the full story. Similar incidents continually tensed the relationship between the young brothers. Still, their shared love for their mother kept them together. Though she suffered from a crippling illness, she did everything she could to care for her boys. She took on typing and clerical jobs from home, sitting in pain for hours to finish documents. Her generosity hid their financial struggles. She often ignored her own needs to help others. Seeing the sacrifice she made, the 2 boys couldn't help but work together to assist Mom as much as they could. Through God's grace, their mom's dedication glued their small home together. Because Ahmad excelled in school, his mom and relatives expected him to ace college and have a successful career. He would really make a difference in the family. Instead, after high school graduation, Ahmad got a small retail job to help his mom and brother while pursuing a call to Christian ministry. At 21 years old, he fell in love and got married. Disappointed, his family berated him for throwing his life away. But more heartbreaking, Ahmad's brother felt abandoned to help Mom alone. However, Ahmad's mother, proud of her son, encouraged him. "This is why I made all those sacrifices," she said, "to see you become a great man." For Ahmad, he heard God's voice to delay college, focus on ministry, and get married. Now, 30 years later, Ahmad is a father to many as the district overseer over several churches. Still happily married, his adult children continue to live at home. Over the years, Ahmad learned many lessons on creating unbreakable bonds in marriage and family. But beyond surrendering his life to God, Ahmad knew he had to make peace with his brother. For years, he reached out repeatedly, first to acknowledge how many times he let Danroy take the blame, and later, after hearing from a family friend that Danroy felt abandoned, Ahmad offered comfort, financial support, and regular visits. He prayed for reconciliation. Eventually, Ahmad's consistent love and sacrifice won over his brother. Today, Danroy is also a pastor. Ahmad ministry has taken him across the U.S. and the Caribbean, but his trip to Africa was his first. When not speaking at a conference, he toured Namibia's stunning wildlife and peaceful landscapes. On his last day in Namibia, a friend said to him, "It would be a shame for you to come so close to South Africa and not visit." "True," Ahmad responded. He booked a flight to South Africa, a country once divided, but now a symbol of hope for unity through sacrifice. Ahmad thought it was just a spontaneous trip, but God charted a journey for a new ministry, teaching parents around the world to build unity at home. All right, so that was the first chapter that introduced Ahmad. And as the story goes along, if he takes that trip to South Africa, he's going to meet Yaku at the airport gate, and they're going to start a conversation that will change Yaku's life and will also affect Ahmad as he goes back home. He's going to apply some of the same things he teaches Yaku in his own life. And the story goes on as Yaku, who was the mentee, is going to eventually even encourage the mentor toward the end. But you got to get the book to get the whole story and see what takes place. And I tell you, you're going to feel a part of the story as it's going to give you the opportunity to join in applying the same principles to your home. Again, the name of the book is Creating Unbreakable Bonds, a faith journey to unite your family. And you always want to look for an opportunity that God could take something small, something that seemed insignificant, and really make it a moment where you can learn new things in your life. Ahmad, in this story, he takes his trip to South Africa, and it was supposed to be a one-day trip. But on that one-day trip, he met Yaku, and God uses Ahmad to really have an impact on Yaku's life, that and then his wife and family, that after that visit, Yaku and his wife and family, their life began to change from that one day visit. Their family they were constantly arguing, they were constantly having differences, and they had even drifted away from their faith in God. After that day when Ahmad visited and spoke with Yaku, it began a new journey in their life where Yaku started to recommit himself to God. He started to be the leader in his home. Him and his wife comes back together, unified in faith, unified in prayer. They began to have one voice in leading their two sons in the home. And you see a complete difference, a complete transformation. And as you go through the story, you'll see the things Ahmad shares with him and unveils to him, and how he could make that transformation in his home. You're going to see as they struggle through some of the things Ahmad teaches them. Then you're going to see Ahmad go back home, and he's going to struggle also in applying some of the same things in his home, as issues going to arise with his mom, with his brother Danroy, and with his own wife and family. And you're going to have to get a copy of the book to see what takes place. Just like how God can take one moment in your life, meeting one person, making a small trip, one visit, just hearing one sermon, one message. That's a small moment God could use to make dramatic change and impact. This is the same way. This little book, this little story, I believe, can make a dramatic impact in many who's watching this right now and is hearing this right now. Just getting this book in your hand could dramatically impact your family and bring unity in your home. I want to encourage you to get a copy and let it has an impact on your home. The illustrations in the book, the story itself is going to speak to you. I'm going to speak to your situation, or it's going to speak to you in a way to help someone else, and it's going to impact your life. But you got to get a copy. And for you to get a copy, you could go to our store, Harvesters Online Christian Bookstore, at store.harvestersonline.com. That's store.harvestersonline.com. Go ahead, go to the store and get your copy. You know, the way this story came, it's the first time my wife and I are writing these books, it's the first time I've written an actual full story. And the way this story came is because of an experience in my own life where on a journey, I met someone. Now, the story goes beyond what I experienced, but that experience, that small experience, have helped me to write a book that's going to help you and many others to significantly transform your family life. All right. So you got to go ahead and get your copy. Go to store.harvestersonline.com. Get a copy of Creating Unbreakable Bonds, a faith journey to unite your family. And watch out for those small moments that God will work in your life that can teach you significant lessons. God bless you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel as yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when another episode of Arrows of Revival come out. God bless you, and see you again next time on the next episode of Arrows of Revival. Hey, to all married and engaged couples, especially if you're a Christian, I have a great resource for you. You may find that even though you're a good churchgoer, you're a committed Christian, still within your marriage, you see that there's a lack of intimacy and there seems to be growing conflict in your relationship with your spouse. How do you create unbreakable bonds in your marriage? And what I want to tell you is that there's actually 3 levels of marital intimacy that you have to take a hold of. And I have a great resource for you. This book, at least 2 books at first, right here. We have Creating Unbreakable Bonds, Marital Intimacy on 3 Levels. Again, that's Creating Unbreakable Bonds, Marital Intimacy on 3 Levels. And this book will show you how to create intimacy in your relationship, first starting at a spiritual level and emotionally. And then once as you have a spiritual and emotional bond, it overflows into fulfilling physical intimacy. This is when intimacy is at its best, when it's an overflow of your spiritual and emotional bond together. So you want to get a copy of this book, but I have even greater news for you. We have also released along with it a companion workbook called Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds. That's Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds, or marital workbook. And with this companion workbook, it's over 300 pages of activities, questions, great activities in this book that you and your spouse could use to build marital intimacy. So you want to get these 2 books, Creating Unbreakable Bonds and Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds. You want to get these 2 together because you'll make a great difference in your marital relationship. You want to discover the 3 levels of sacred intimacy in your marriage. You want to find out the secret to marital intimacy in Christ, and you can do that right here in this book. You want to be bonded not just on the physical level, not just sex, but also on the emotional level and on the spiritual level. You'll find that out in these books. But just to go a little further, you'll find that many times in a marital relationship, even in a good marriage, the dynamics of the family, how a couple relates to their children, their kids, how a couple deal with transitions in the family, disagreements that may occur, and just daily challenges of life can really impact that relationship. So we wrote a third book, and this book is Creating Unbreakable Bonds, a faith journey to unite your family. A faith journey to unite your family. And this book tells you how, as a couple, you can unite together in raising your children, dealing with daily challenges of life, transitions, changes, loss that occur in every family. You want to get this copy because you learn how to take the same principles where you are joined together in oneness in your marriage and apply those similar biblical principles to uniting your family. I greatly recommend this book to you. As a matter of fact, this is actually a narrative. It's a story of a mentor and a mentee from two different countries. And one of the mentor, his name is Ahmad, he mentors Yaku, that's from South Africa, in his marriage and in his family. But then Ahmad, the mentor, ended up having problems of his own in his own family when he gets back home to the States. And he himself had to struggle through applying those principles. And you'll see how the characters in the story apply biblical principles to unite their family. And you'll discover how to apply those same principles in your life, in your family. So I highly recommend these three books: Creating Unbreakable Bonds, Marital Intimacy on 3 Levels, and Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds, or Marital Workbook, which is a study guide for deeper intimacy on 3 levels, and then Creating Unbreakable Bonds, a faith journey to unite your family. So I don't know what else to tell you. I know without a doubt it will make a difference in your marriage. And I'm not the only one that say that. Others have said the same thing. I have people saying it's an amazing read. Some say, wow, they love the part on physical intimacy or physical oneness. Those that have already participated in the tool of the emotional care evaluation, they said that has made such a difference in their marriage. They now see where they need to improve in their marriage and make things stronger. Some couples say, Brad, after doing the activity, it immediately made a change in their marriage. So I don't know what else to tell you. Go ahead and get your copy of Cultivating Unbreakable Bonds, the Marital Workbook. But go even further. Get the entire bundle at a special price right on harvestonline.com. The information is below. God bless you. God bless your marriage as you increase in your spiritual intimacy.
Thank you for listening to Arrows of Revival. To hear other episodes, go to revivalarrows.com. Again, our website is revivalarrows.com. To contact us, email hello@revivalarrows.com. Send us an email to hello@revivalarrows.com. And remember, let God shape you and polish you as an arrow for His revival.